Hey guys, in this one I'm going to show you how we can customize metahumans quite easily, and we're also going to create one new leather armor, but as a one-piece set so we can equip it to our traders. And at the moment with our setup that we have is when you click on any of the NPCs, you do have this mesh and then feet, hands, legs and so on. And what you can actually do here is select the chest, for example, and search for our plate armor and equip it here, which will actually equip it to the character. But the problem with this is that it doesn't show you here anymore because that is not the default value. It will keep you as none, and then if you even try to clear it, it doesn't remove it, so it's a little bit buggy. So I'm going to Control Z it, and also other thing is setting it up by clicking through this and finding the skeletal mesh for each is a little bit pain in the ass. So we're going to make it a little bit easier, and for that we need to open our base NPC. And in here, we're going to create new variables for each of these skeletal meshes. So first one, I'm going to call body mesh instead of mesh, and it's going to be set body mesh, which will be skeletal mesh and object reference. I'm going to duplicate this, and this will be set face. Duplicate again, set chest. Then set legs, set hands, and set feet. And just this one is not in order. There you go. And once you have created them, we're going to make them instance editable. So click on this eye icon, which will basically check this. We don't need to make them expose on spawn because we're not going to use them in a blueprint. And we're also going to put them in different category, which will be set NPC. And then for all of these, apart from the player reference, you're going to select that category, set NPC. Compile and save. And once we have done that, what this do is when you click on any of the NPC now, even the traders that inherited it, you just go down and you get the set NPC, which you can set all the body mesh, face, legs, chest, feet, and I think we're missing one. What are we missing? Hands? I'm missing hands, so duplicate one more time and set hands, which I'll also put above the feet, so it's the same order. And if you were to change it now, it wouldn't really do anything because obviously we don't have it connected, so nothing changes. But if you were to go to base NPC, we're going to do it in a construction script. And the reason we're doing it in a construction script and not in event graph is because in event graph it only starts when you begin playing the game. So it will update then, but if you do it on a construction script, as soon as we're changing here, you can see the changes, so we can tell like what we're actually changing on the NPCs. So in a construction script, we're going to get the mesh first, set skeletal mesh, mesh asset, and then for new mesh, it's going to be our set body mesh. We need to copy this 5 more times. What I can actually do is this and this. Connect it here, and then let's go face, chest, legs, hands, and feet. Now for the bottom part, we go face, chest, legs, hands, and feet. Compile and save. Now, one change you will see here is at the moment our NPC disappeared, and that is because the default mesh is being overwritten by these. And we don't necessarily want that for body mesh. So what we can do is drag this back, get this body mesh that we're going to set, right click, convert to validated get, and we're just basically going to check if it's empty. So if it's valid, that means it's not empty, and we're going to set this. If it's not valid, we're going to copy this one more time, paste it here, and we're going to set it to default SKM money. So we always, our NPC, we can see it, because otherwise if you don't have anything, it's quite hard to actually select it or click on it. You know, so it's better to always have something as a default. And now you can see our NPC reappeared. And now what we could do is just select it, go down here, and then for body mesh, let's say I want to have my metahuman lady, so I'm going to set face, and it changed face. For chest I can do plate armor. And good thing actually about these skeletal mesh assets, our armor pieces, is that if you equip it on the female, it actually scales down with the skeleton, and it looks pretty good. So if you can see that I'm wearing a little bit bigger version, and it looks very nice on the small one, so that's pretty cool. And one issue we might have is when you're changing it to some asset that doesn't have a material or anything like that, if you change it for something that is not meant to be changed for that, like I don't know, like one of these empty assets or something like that, materials won't change, and then when you change it next time, it might not update. So if I change this face to male now, it changes to male, but the skin color for the material stays the same. And what we need to do for that is, in the trader we did have some face set already. So you need to, first of all, let's reset all the materials by clicking here, just so it's as a default value, so it changes with the skeletal mesh. There's actually quite a lot of them, but... And then remove this skeletal mesh to have a default in the chest, legs, hands, feet, and also mesh as a character mesh. We will remove it and leave it as a SKM money, so it's default. Compile and save. And now you can see the face change to white male that I have for my, as a shadow of my character. And now you can just empty it. You know, obviously I wouldn't recommend matching different color skins. That's not a good habit, because, you know, wait, you've seen it now, but if I change the face to this one, first of all it doesn't fit, second of all it looks horrendous, you know, because this is actually male mesh, so you need to be doing male body and female body and matching them with the same face, and obviously skin color. Or for skin color you can actually, as you have seen, you could change the material, but you would have to go to face and actually update one of these. I'm not sure which one it is, like for the dark skin color. Okay, so better not play with that, just download a few more metahumans, just make them, and you know, then you can be changing between different faces and everything, which is quite cool. And then obviously in the trader I'm going to reset it, and I'm just going to set this to what it was for my merchant. I have just do two faces. Obviously if you do, for example in the legs, if you do plate armor, it's still set to skeletal mesh to be in a plate armor slot, so it will still be plate armor. But then obviously you could do twice, you would do plate armor and it would be overlapping, so you don't want to do that either. Plate armor, and you got two now, you can't see it. So for the face I'm going to do my Kyoko, and this will be my trader. And for now I'm not going to set any of these armor pieces, because at the moment I only have a plate armor. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, obviously if you importing metahumans that have a heavier body, so they got a little bit of belly or anything, then the skeletal mesh assets that you have won't really work, because you would have to again import them to Blender and make them fit the bigger body. Otherwise you would, you know, some of the metahumans only got hands and stuff without the body, and if you equip it, it would look really small. It would be like a small body with big legs and big head and everything, so it wouldn't look good. You have to actually change it. So either use the same body type which is this regular skinny, or if you want to use the different body types, you know, you have to change the skeletal meshes for that, which is quite a lot of work, but you know, that's how the proper game studios operate, so that's what it is. Now save. I just noticed that my feet seems to be in the ground for some reason. Alright, that is just in the preview. Okay, it's all fine. So this is basically how we can update them, and then also what we can do is on the trader we do have this set gold and trader items to sell, so we can also make it in the same category, which is I'm not sure if it will let us. What was set NPC, so we have it all together. So anytime you create some new character that will need to have some variables you can set, you can give it to the same category to set NPC, and for gold as well, set NPC. Compile and save, and now in here I can sell items to sell and also gold, so it's all in one category. Okay, so quite simple. There's also one way you could do is create the struct with all of these and then create a data table from it, and you would have a preset of the character. I was considering it, but I was like, well, you probably don't want to use the same character unless you have some important character that will be in a quest line or something. Then you could do a preset and it will always look the same. So it's an idea, you know, but you could do that. And now for the armor set. So I found on a Sketchfab this armor garb, like leather set, that I actually quite like for a merchant. It's all leather, you know, it looks to have like a bit of belt and stuff. So I'm going to do this one, but I wanted it for a reason, because it is in a, well, I'm not actually logged in, so I can't show you, but it's in a die format. So go ahead and download it in a die format, which is the standard one, and then import it to your Blender. And inside the Blender it will look like this once you import it. So you just need to file, import, and what is this one here, the Collada, the first one. And I just created my collection where I imported my MetaHuman body. If you don't know how to do this or export it from the engine, watch the video that I made on rigged armor, which I think is number 11. And you will see it there. You just create a collection, import the MetaHuman body, create new collection, and then import this armor. And for this armor, what we need to do is, obviously you can see it's quite down, so we're going to just move it higher. I can see this Z value is probably need to be 1. Yeah, so it's on the same level. And now I'm going to right click and I'm going to set origin to 3D cursor, so it sets the origin here to the bottom. And now I can hold S on the keyboard and scale it down. Always make sure you make it just slightly bit bigger, because it's easier to change the bigger asset than it is to change a small one. So just going to do it something like that. And now obviously for the editing, I have showed you already some ways to do it, but this one is a little bit different because you can see the feet or anything doesn't really fit. So I might speed it up this video, but what I basically did is, best way is to go to sculpt mode. You got the grab, which might be the best tool, and then you got the radius, which you can change, or you can change it with holding F on the keyboard and then moving mouse left and right quickly. And then I'll just do radius something like this, so it's quite big, but it grabs the whole thing. And then also I'm going to mirror here X. So if you select it, it will mirror the sleeve, so changes for both. So what we can do is grab this whole part and move it just a little bit. Don't move it too much the first time. Always grab it one more time and move it. And I'm going to show you one part that I want to do here on the hands, because obviously I'm not good in Blender at all. So this is just my basic thing of doing this, but you can see that I'm grabbing these sleeves, then you move the camera, grab these sleeves again, then maybe move the radius a little bit lower. I'm just going to move it like that. There is this sleeve part that I couldn't make work, so we're going to remove that part here, because no matter how I dragged it and stuff, it still stayed. Either it went to the pieces and it was really hard to fit it properly, or like it just started bugging out completely. And now so you can see this. If you make a mistake, always Control Z, you know, because if you click on it, I think it just pushes it. And then for the sleeve, you can see this. Now I kind of made that work. So what I'm going to do is go to Sculpt mode, Edit mode, select one of these vertices, and what was the shortcut? Control and J, no, Control and L, Control and L to select all of the connected ones. And that will just basically select that sleeve. And what I can press delete and delete the vertices, and I'll just remove that problematic sleeve. And there is one more thing here that was part of it, I think. I'll do again Control and L, delete, and delete vertices. And I'll do the same one for here because that thing doesn't mirror. So Control and L, delete vertices, and Control and L, delete and vertices. Obviously, if you're really good at Blender and you know how to do it, you could actually let me know as well. I'm not really good at Blender. All I can do is maybe grab a bit, you know, or just weight paint, but that is as far as my skills go. And then just rest of it is literally just grabbing and resizing, so play with it until it fits properly. Alright, and once you have done that, once you're actually happy with what it looks like, you don't see any more spots, I literally just used grab tool. What we're going to do is, again, we need to make an armature, so some bones. And for that, just go to object mode, select this dress, go to this properties thingy, modifier, add modifier, data transfer. We're going to do eyedropper tool, select any part of the body, so emmet body 1. We're going to check vertex data, vertex groups, and generate data layers. It will generate some of the bones, and we can just apply so it's not here anymore. And then we will add another modifier. This time it will be armature. We'll do eyedropper again, but we need to select one of the bones, so the root. Select the root, and then we hold shift on the keyboard and going to open this up first. Hold shift on the keyboard and drag this to the root, which will add it as a child here, but it will stay here. Now you need to select this one and the root. Wait, let's first test it out if it actually works. So select the root, then you can go to pose mode, select one of these and hold R on a keyboard, and it moves with the body. So now I go to object mode. I don't know what I actually, right, object mode. I'm going to select this one and control and select the root only. So only this item selected, technically this one, but it's the same. So root and challenge address, go to file, export, this time in FBX. And then what you need to do is select armature, hold shift and select mesh, selected object only, that's very important because we don't want to be exporting MetaHuman or anything else. And then in the geometry you do face, in the armature you do uncheck art leaf bones and uncheck bake animation as well. This one will be, excuse me, trader mesh, and you can just export as FBX, and that is all you need to do. And then you import it to Unreal, which I've already done with mine. So once you import it to Unreal, important thing is in the skeletal mesh you need to select, what is it, SK mannequin or SK mannequin, that's what it's called. So just create new meshes. I call this one trader armor, and here you can see my mannequin is SK mannequin, so that's what you need to change. And once you import it, this is what it looks like. So it's all black. So from the assets that you downloaded from Sketchfab, also import these four, and we're just going to change the material quickly. So move them here. Albedo is base color, this one is metallic, this one is normal, and roughness, no thank you for me. So if you want, you can connect roughness, I won't. And then trade the armor. This is what it looks like. Oh, and actually it's a little bit different than I thought it would be, because it looks like a warrior armor. It's got some lions. It's actually really nice. But now we do have this as a one piece. So I just want to use it for my trader. Maybe I'll do another one, because this seems to be like a quite nice clothing to have as a you know, as one of the armor pieces. But you would have to obviously cut it into different parts. So you would have to get a trousers, armor, chest. It doesn't have gloves or anything. So, you know, if you want to cut it to the parts or create asset from it, it's fine. I'm just going to use it here for now for MetaHuman. And since it's a whole piece with the skeleton, all you can do is here just go down, and for chest I'm going to select this trader armor. There we go. And right, okay, so this one, for example, I could have made with more space because it doesn't fit on a female. Okay, obviously the boobs are popping out of the armor, so you can't really you can't really see the full armor nicely. So if I change this to male, where's the male body? This one here, it fits beautifully. So either what you can do is create one for male and female and just slightly adjust it, but for that import the MetaHuman into Blender so you can see actually, you know, so it doesn't have the boobs popping out or anything like that, any other part. But as you can see, this armor fits quite nicely on the male with the female head. Cool. And so, you know, instead of doing all the work of creating separate pieces, if you want to use something for a trader, this is not exactly a garb, but if you find some asset that is just one cloth piece, you know, like a long one with a skirt or something, like a dresses like traders wear, and then some kind of hat maybe or something, then you can do that. For hats, by the way, I forgot about that, but for hats what we need to do is we need to create the socket, obviously, because hats are equipped with the sockets to the head. And in the MetaHumans, so if I go to Click.o, which is new one, and the MetaHumans by default got a MetaHuman skeleton. So if you go to body, open this body, and then here in a skeleton, you can see that it opens MetaHuman base skeleton. I don't want that, because then if I create the socket on my mannequin, on my player, I have to create it again for a MetaHuman. So instead what I'm going to do is find the skeletal mesh, and for each MetaHuman I'm going to download, I'm just going to right click on this body, skeleton, and assign skeleton, and I'm going to change it to SK mannequin. The first one, second one is UE4, and accept. Okay, and I will just change the skeleton. If you close this, 5 save all, sometimes it needs time to reload. And then if I open it again, this body only is already MetaHuman skeleton, because I can see my shield and everything. And then in the skeleton itself, right, it's opening it behind this. In the skeleton itself, I'm going to scroll down to head. There's head here. I'm going to add socket, and this one will be helmet. Oh wait, actually, sorry, my bad. We do have a head socket. We don't really need to do it on NPC again. So we do have head socket. Go to NPCs, blueprints NPC, base NPC, and in here on the end what we can do is create one more variable. I'm going to duplicate it here. This one will be head, or set head, sorry, set head, or set helmet, because we do have face and stuff. So this is set helmet, and this one will be static mesh, because most of them we have as a static meshes, not as a skeletal meshes. And from here we're going to get this, attach. Alright, now I'm thinking we need to attach it to the component. Okay, let's do one component. Yeah, we need a component. So static mesh, which will be helmet. We're going to do it different ways, so you don't have to create the assets for helmets. And for helmet now we can get this helmet, set skeletal mesh, set skeletal mesh, set static mesh. So it's set static mesh from this one here, from set helmet, and then from the helmet we will attach component to component. This helmet will be target, parent will be mesh, and the socket will be head. And the reason why we need the component is because otherwise you have to spawn something from the class, and if you don't have this helmet created as a class for whatever reason, then you would have to actually create the assets. Like this, it works a little bit better. We'll do the same thing for a hair. We'll create one more for a hair, but that will be in the next one. And once you have done this, you will just snap to target, snap to target, snap to target, compile and save. And now in the arena we can set helmet, and I only do have one helmet. I don't even know what it is called, iron helm. What is my helmet called? Meshes. I'm so confused. I'm going to find it in the items. Third person blueprints, items, steel helmet. Oh my god, okay. So steel helmet, I can now set it here. Select this NPC. And helmet will be steel. Helmet SM. Okay, and it fits perfectly. And then you can select then it's static mesh. It doesn't need to be, obviously now you don't have to select the class, you just need a static mesh. So you can actually select any of these. Alright. Cool. And that's how we customize MetaHuman. So in the next one we will do hair. I will do the 2 types as well. So for those of you that want to use the MetaHuman hair, we will do that. And for those that you want to use assets, I will show you how to download and set up some of them. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.